It was supposed to be the happiest day of her life. The morning sun filtered gently through the curtains of a quiet hotel room, illuminating a pristine white wedding dress hanging near the window. Everything was ready. The guests had already begun to gather at the venue, laughter and music filling the air in anticipation of a beautiful union. But the bride never arrived. No scream echoed through the halls. No struggle disturbed the calm. No message was left behind. She was simply gone. Her name was Emily Carter. At 28, Emily was known for her warmth and kindness. She worked as a schoolteacher, adored by her students and respected by her colleagues. Friends often described her as the one who brought people together, calm, thoughtful, and full of quiet strength. And she was in love. Her fiancé, Daniel Hayes, was everything people admired: successful, confident, and charming. To outsiders, they were the perfect couple, the kind others envied. But perfection, as it often turns out, can be an illusion. On the morning of the wedding, everything seemed flawless. Emily was staying in a boutique hotel just minutes away from the venue. Her maid of honor, Sarah Mitchell, sat beside her as they laughed, took photos, and talked about the future. At one point, Emily picked up her phone and sent a voice message to Daniel. "I can't wait to see you at the altar," she said softly, a smile in her voice. It would be the last time anyone ever heard from her. At exactly 10:15 a.m., Sarah stepped out of the room to take a phone call. The hallway outside was quiet. 7 minutes later, at 10:22 a.m., a security camera captured a figure leaving the floor. The person wore a hoodie, their face hidden, their movements deliberate. At 10:25 a.m., Emily's phone went offline. When Sarah returned at 10:40 a.m., the room was silent. "Emily?" she called out, stepping inside. No answer. The dress still hung untouched. Her shoes sat neatly by the bed. But Emily was gone. Investigators quickly arrived at the scene. There were no signs of forced entry. No broken furniture. No indication of a struggle. Just absence. And questions. A hotel staff member later recalled seeing a woman near the back exit around the same time. She looked like she didn't want to be there, he told police. Nervous, like something was wrong. The woman wasn't wearing a wedding dress. She was dressed casually. And she looked distressed. Another witness mentioned a black SUV parked behind the hotel. But when authorities checked the license plate, it didn't exist. As the investigation deepened, suspicion began to shift. At first, Daniel appeared heartbroken. He wept openly, pleaded for answers, and even offered a reward for information. "I just want her back," he told reporters, his voice breaking. But something didn't sit right with the detectives. His timeline had gaps. Small inconsistencies that began to grow larger the more they examined them. Then came the discovery that changed everything. Phone records revealed that Daniel had been in frequent contact with someone in the days leading up to the wedding. That person was his ex-girlfriend, Laura Bennett. When questioned, Laura admitted they had spoken. It was just for closure, she insisted. Nothing more. But investigators weren't convinced. Because on the morning Emily disappeared, Laura's phone had also been switched off. Theories began to circulate. Some believed Emily had run away, overwhelmed by the pressure of marriage. But those closest to her rejected that idea immediately. She was happy, Sarah said firmly. She was ready. Others suspected a kidnapping, the mysterious SUV, the sudden disappearance, the missing phone. But no ransom demand ever came. Then there was the most disturbing possibility of all. An inside job. Someone who knew her. Someone she trusted. Someone who knew exactly where she would be. The breakthrough came days later. Investigators enhanced the hotel's security footage. The hooded figure wasn't a stranger. It was Daniel. He had disguised himself. entered through a staff-only entrance, and walked out unnoticed. Everything changed in that moment. The grieving fiancé became the prime suspect. Under intense interrogation, Daniel's composure finally cracked. At first, he denied everything. Then, slowly, he began to confess. "I didn't know how to stop it," he muttered, staring at the floor. He admitted he wasn't ready for marriage. But instead of ending the relationship, he made a choice that would haunt everyone forever. He planned it. With Laura's help. On the morning of the wedding, Daniel entered the hotel in disguise. Laura waited outside in the SUV. They convinced Emily to leave the room under false pretenses. She trusted him. Of course she did. He was the man she was about to marry. What happened next was something no one could undo. Emily was abducted. And tragically, she never returned. The wedding that was meant to celebrate love became a crime scene. The man who promised her forever became the architect of her disappearance. And the woman who dreamed of a future never got the chance to live it. In the end, the case left behind more than just grief. It left a lesson. Not everyone who stands beside you, stands for you. Sometimes, the greatest danger doesn't come from strangers in the dark, but from the people you trust in the light. And somewhere, in the silence of that empty hotel room, the echo of a promise still lingers. "I can't wait to see you at the altar." But she never did.